Well, that was a fascinating discussion there on the thriving startup ecosystem in Miami and Madrid, and the role that the local community have in collaborating and really making all the difference. It's really great to see them all getting on board. We are now moving on to entrepreneuring our way to the future that we want. Now, here to moderate this session, please welcome Sofia Benjamea, Head of EMEA at Google for Startups, one of our global partners. Thank you again. And also Jose Bayon, CEO at Enisa, Spanish National Innovation Company. So please give them a very warm welcome. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So I have here with me Jose Bayon, who's one of the people that knows from closest our innovation ecosystem, and represents that connection, that bridge between the public institutions and the private ecosystem. Because, again, one of the words that we've mentioned most these days is ecosystems, and all the players need to be represented, and of course the government and the public institutions are absolutely crucial. He's the CEO of Enisa, which is the national company for innovation, and we know now that Spain has catch up and is now one of the leading hubs in Europe. And he has also been at the front of the definition and the execution of the startups law, so we'll talk a little bit about that, and has also been a big supporter of South Summit from the early days, from the very beginning, back in 2012. So really thank you for being here. So let's start with just how would you qualify, like from 0 to 10, how would you qualify Spain in terms of entrepreneurial innovation, and how has it evolved?
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much, Sofia. It's a pleasure to be here at South Summit, like every year, and also talk to you as well. Well, never before has the ecosystem been given such a boost like now, in this time. We have a very good figures in Spain. General context, economic context is better than in the rest of Europe. But in particularly, the ecosystem, the innovative entrepreneurship ecosystem is having a boost. We have a lot of companies, we have a lot of startups. We have multiplied by 5 in the last 6 years the investment amount in our country, and I would give, I don't know, perhaps a 7, something like that, from 0 to 10, a 7, because we have still a lot of things to do, only if we continue in this path, in this way, but we are in a very good position right now.
So I was talking about ecosystem and its players. What do you think has been the differentiator? What makes the role of the government and the public institutions in the evolution of this national ecosystem?
Well, the public institution, the governments have a key role. A key role is another input, and it's very important. We are seeing right now what important the regulation is regarding the artificial intelligence, for instance. You know? In the beginning, it was not. We were wondering that perhaps was not necessary to go ahead with the regulation, and right now we are facing an important regulation. Okay, it happens the same more or less in the entrepreneurship. We as Enisa has a key role. You have told before, we are the national innovation company, and we are the reference for entrepreneurship, for entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship. And thanks to the government, we have increased our budget 40% in the last year. We are going to regulate also the startups law. We are going to lead the Spanish brand for entrepreneurship. So it's very important to have a clear direction and a clear involvement of the public administration also in terms of the government.
And what do you think, to what extent is now the startup ecosystem really become, at the eyes of the government and the eyes of the industry, a key part of our economic model in Spain. I mean, because back in the days when we started in 2012, it was still pretty much a niche of some usual suspects. How has this changed?
Economic model and transformation of the economic model is in the core of all the policies that we are facing right now. Since time ago, after the COVID-19, all the measurements, the recovery and transformation and resilience plan was facing this change of the model, this transformation of the model, because we are in a revolution, in a technological revolution, digital and a sustainability revolution, both. And I always say that entrepreneurship is not an end itself. It's a tool, a very important tool. As a concept, it's very important. We have to be, we have to keep an entrepreneurship soul, let's say, in all the activities we do in small, medium, big companies, corporations, also public, private sector. But entrepreneurship, like creating new startups and scale up these startups, is not an end itself. It's part of this transformation of the model. You know very well we need corporation, big corporation, this open innovation. We have to mix all the pieces and work together, public, private, medium, small, big companies, because the goal, the clear goal that we are facing is transformed our productive model, because is necessary in this time, this moment.
So let's jump a little bit to talk about the startups law in itself. It's been quite a milestone. Could you describe a little bit for those that maybe don't really know why is it so special that Spain finally got this regulatory framework? Could you maybe kind of give a brief description of the main points?
Well, we say, and the Secretary of State of Digitalization, Carme Artigas, always said, and also I said, that this is a pioneer law in our context, let's say. It's a very new law, mainly because of the regulation of the startup, because there is no other regulation in our context, in our neighborhood, that really defines what a startup is in terms of administrative. And this is, believe me, that this is not easy. We are working with a lot of ministries. We are preparing right now a ministerial order in order to define what really a startup is, because it means mainly a clear regulation, and it means also safety also for the investors, for the entrepreneurs, and this is, in my opinion, the most important thing. And the second thing, and it's linked to the previous one, is that we are launching our neighborhood, launching to the world and launching abroad a clear message, is that Spain is not only a country to live very well, for sun and everything we know, but also a country where it's possible to undertake, where is a great country to undertake in this moment. It's a great country to invent and grow for the companies. And in fact, we are the regulation body of the law, you have said. And one of the things that we have to do, and we are already doing, is to analyze foreign entrepreneurs' application in order to establish the companies here. And I can say that this has been multiplied by, in the last weeks, since we have started to do this, by 9. So it's really great.
That's for the visas or for the
not for the
certification?
Visa, for entrepreneurs, yeah.
So these are
not nomad. It is not visa for digital nomads. Visa for digital nomads, for instance, the number of entries by Google. If you look for Spanish digital visa, it has been multiplied by 4 in 1 year. But the entrepreneurs that want to come here to Spain,
To start
who
their
want
companies
to,
here.
to start the companies here, has been multiplied by more or less by 9 in the last week. So we are receiving a lot of entrepreneurs, and in my opinion, that is a clear successful. It shows the success of the law, the startups law.
Amazing. And it hasn't started yet. What about also, I think you were talking about that the big differentiator is to actually really determine what's a startup, because at the end of the day, in order to be able to legislate, you need to know the specifics, no? What makes a startup so special. And for that, the startups need to kind of go and request some kind of certification towards your company. How is this process going to work? How is it going?
Well, this is, sorry. Exactly, we are, the law designated ENISA as a regulatory body. We are right now developing, together with 6 ministries, this ministerial order, okay? And we are close to finish the ministerial order, and I'll start with a certification, sorry, because I know everybody's waiting for it. It's coming soon, okay? And what we are going to do is analyze 2 blocks of questions, okay? First is based on 12 mandatory criteria, 12 mandatory criteria like that is the size, age, turnover, so this is, everything is very clear, is defined in the law, okay? And there is another block that is related to the innovative and scalability of the company, you know? And then we analyze the business model, the teams, the market, and so on. This is what we do, and what we do every year with our loans. As you know, we analyze around 2,000 companies every year. We have financed around 8,200, so this is our expertise. We are not going to analyze the financial figures of the company, because it doesn't make sense in this case for the startup law, for the certification, but analyze this innovative and scalability of the company, together with these 12 criteria that are marked in the law.
Okay, and so what do you foresee? You were talking about we're at 7. So how do you foresee the motto of South Summit this year is Today 2030? So we'd love to see how do you think that this can actually really be a leverage for us to, where do you foresee the startup ecosystem in 2030?
Well, I think I've told before, the ecosystem has grown a lot in the last 5 years. So we are in a very good moment, but everything depends on what we want to do. Nothing is written. The future is not written. It depends on if we are able to boost the ecosystem, to boost the economy, to boost not only the digital transition, but also the energetic and sustainability transition, because we are seeing every day and realizing every day in ENISA that a lot of companies, I would say more or less all the companies we receive and the startups that we are financing are linked to these challenges, social challenges, you know. This is the best market we have. And it depends on what we do. If we continue in this path, we have right now a big amount of investment. 20 billion for digitalization is in the government plan for transformation and resilience plans, okay? And we have also a stake. We are going to have as well a small fund as ENISA in the next generation plans, you know. So there are a lot of investment, there are a lot of regulation, there is a lot of boost. And if we continue in this path, I'm sure that Spain is going to be a leading country in the next years for not only for the entrepreneurship, but also for another questions like energy. For example, Spain is right now serving energy to another countries, delivering energy to another countries. It was impossible to think about 10 or 15 years ago. So everything is changing. We say that Spain is also changing the game, but it is very important to keep the way, because otherwise it's not going to happen.
Yeah, you've been talking a lot about this, about that it's, at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is a means to an end, and I like how you talk about what's that end, no? That let's never forget the social challenges we're facing, sustainability, even health. So how do you see the role of the startups that will play? For example, at Google for Startups, we're really focusing on AI for health, for education, for climate, to really have the startups solve some of those key challenges. How can we actually make not only you play the role, but really them play a role?
Well, this is very important, because we usually say, I always say that the social challenges are the business opportunities we have in our time. And you know as well from Google and the big companies and corporations, you see that these challenges, these changes at the end of the day of our life is the real market that the startups are facing, and we see every day in ENISA with the business model, and also with studies, because the last Global Entrepreneurship Monitor that we support also from ENISA has asked for the companies about the social challenges and social commitment to these challenges, and more than 60% of them has said that are motivated by this. So most of the startup in our countries are motivated by this, and it makes sense, because this is, on the other hand, the market that they are going to face in the next year. Because of this, I said it's very important to continue and keep on going, boosting all these challenges, not stopping, not only because of social reasons that I really believe, honestly, but also because of economical reasons, because we are changing the model, and not only in Spain, but also in the whole Europe. We need to change and transform the model in order to be a key global player as Europe and as Spain, and this is our best marketplace also.
Yeah, you talked about Europe, and we're weeks away from having the presidency of Council. How do you see also, how is this an opportunity for Spain in terms of now with the new law, with really being at the front? How do you see this as an opportunity from your perspective, from ENISA?
Well, it's a great opportunity that we are already taking benefit of it. In this moment, we have good figures. Spanish economy is in a very good position, entrepreneurship, innovation, everything. But I would talk about an example that is very important, also related to the Spanish presidency of European Council. This is about artificial intelligence. I was talking yesterday with Carme Artigas, the Secretary of State, and we are going to regulate the artificial intelligence. And this is something that we are leading from Spain side, but not also leading in Europe, but also leading in the world, because Carme Artigas and the President Sanchez was also talking about this with Biden. So I think we are right now in a very good position to lead these kind of things that are really, really important in terms of the global economy. And this is the best example. We are preparing also this artificial intelligence regulation, and I'm sure we are going to be able to approve it in the next 6 months during the Spanish presidency.
Okay, so there's been a lot of international investors throughout these 3 days here. I guess there are some in the audience. What would be, to finish as we're running out of time, what would be your pitch? Like, how would you welcome them with the new setup to really consider Spain?
Well, more or less, what I have said during this speech. We have we have a lot of investment, public investment, and commitment. We have a great country, that is clear. I think every investor knows. Okay, but we have a lot of talent. That is the most important thing, and this is at the end of the day the final reason of the startup law, to catch talent. Okay, so we have all the ingredients to be a great country, and I usually say that in Spain it was an old sad sentences. About talking about that we were not able to invent. Okay, I think we now are able to invent, and we are able to be a great country also in terms of entrepreneurship. Investment has been multiplied by 5 in the last years, and I invite all the investors to come here, to come to Spain with more money, because we have all the ingredients for them.
Well, thank you, Jose, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.